Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, tear up your WrestleMania plans. He's back.
And he's not the only one who's set to appear on Raw tonight.
We've got an update on WWE's plans for SmackDown going forward.
And an update on Gabe Sapolsky's WWE status. I'm Adam Wilborn.
I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
Okay, we're going to begin this one by talking about the King of the Balds, the High Chief of the Balds, the boss,
final boss of the
final bald boss, The Rock. We're talking about Rock. He's back, and WrestleMania plans are probably going to be changed as a result of this.
Yes.
We know how it goes with Da Rock. So he posted a long ass post on social media yesterday confirming he's going to be on the Netflix debut of Raw tonight. And all kinds of interesting ramifications could come from that. So I won't read the whole post, but he's talking about like his position in the Samoan wrestling dynasty and his family and all these things that mean so much to him. And he carries these things around the world with pride, kindness, humility, mana,
yes,
and warrior spirit. But the most important part of this from a wrestling standpoint is that he said, I'll come back home to WWE tomorrow night as we make history on Netflix and begin a new era. So, we've not seen Da Rock since Bad Blood, when he showed up at the end, and he did that, and then he went away, and he didn't come back. He did one of his promos. He was Cody Rhodes, don't like you, like your dad, or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
They started playing some music you couldn't hear a word he said.
Nope.
He kept on going. It was funny. We haven't seen him since. It was reported shortly after that they just kind of did it for the sake of doing it. There wasn't really a plan in place. It was just like, hey, put The Rock on the show. Cool. But now he's coming back on Raw. And, you know, there have been reports that WWE's been preparing, like, WrestleMania cards in case Dwayne isn't available, because there's been a lot of talk that he's not going to be on WrestleMania. I believe there's a live-action Moana or something.
Yeah, they're doing reshoots for that, I think.
Yeah, so that you can see why that would clash. But if he's showing up on Raw, you'd imagine there's going to be some kind of WrestleMania implication. And as has been widely reported, if The Rock wants to be on WrestleMania, all your other plans are going in the bin.
Yes.
You know what happened last year? He showed up. I think he expected to be treated like a hero. He took Cody Rhodes' spot for about 4 days.
Yep.
It was rejected by everyone, and he went, yeah, to be fair, one of the all-time great pivots in WWE history.
Yeah.
He went, that didn't go well, let's switch it up. And then Cody obviously
be the greatest heel in all of wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, his version of events is probably a little bit, fluffed up. And then obviously Cody went on and finished the story and all that. So it's an interesting one. I wonder what he'll do on tonight's episode.
Well, yeah, there's so much going on. There's obviously title matches, there's tribal combat, that makes the most sense. Obviously Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, the Ula Fella, all that stuff. Paul Heyman's going to crown the winner, etc., etc. Logan Paul's going to be on the show, I think, as well. I doubt The Rock's going to be working with him, but I want to see that as well.
It's
now.
The big WrestleMania program.
But, one would assume, with Cody being on the show as well, yeah, things are going to get changed if they weren't already. I'd always anticipated that The Rock would be coming back in time for WrestleMania because it just makes all the sense in the world. And I know sometimes they just do stuff for the sake of doing stuff, but they did lay the groundwork on the Raw after WrestleMania. What did he whisper to Cody? What did he give him? Etc., etc. I'm buzzing. I cannot wait for tonight.
Yeah, that thread is still dangling there from that great segment with The Rock and Cody on the Raw after WrestleMania. The Rock saying F-U-C-K, one of the moments of the year.
Yes.
Like, come on. He swore. You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Although he is, because he's The Rock. Like, that is the story in a nutshell, because he's The Rock.
Yeah.
WrestleMania, plans change, because he's The Rock. He can do what he wants. He's a member of the board. He's the biggest star in the company when he's there, obviously. He's like the most famous man alive, almost. Which made me make a list of the most famous people alive. See what The Rock thinks. Probably Taylor Swift, probably a little bit ahead of him.
Oh, she going to work WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Feel free to pitch her.
Well, I mean, it's been pitched before.
Yeah.
Io Sky seemed
of course,
not at all interested in that. But yeah, The Rock, he's back, baby, and so is someone else.
Yeah, he's not the only legend set to appear on Raw tonight. I've mentioned Logan Paul. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Hulk Hogan. Because according to Dr. Chris Featherstone, who's been really good with scoops
Dr.
recently.
Scoops.
Indeed. Hulk Hogan will be appearing on the Raw on Netflix premiere. Stone Cold Steve Austin was also apparently discussed to make an appearance, but that has been scrapped. Although he lives near to Las Vegas, doesn't he, he said. It's not that far away, so wouldn't rule him out for WrestleMania plans as well. But speaking of Hogan, Fightful Select notes that there have been discussions within WWE of bringing him in for some upcoming appearances. This would obviously seem to be one of them. I have no desire to see Hulk Hogan, to be perfectly honest, ruin this show tonight. Nevertheless, it's Hulk Hogan, so...
Yeah, he'll be on it, and he'll just come up and do like a little pump-up segment, won't he?
Hopefully,
where he'll be like, he'll do the... And then he'll say, you know something, brother, and all this stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm the same boat. I've no burning desire to see Hulk Hogan on my wrestling shows in 2025. But hey, there you go. Steve Austin would have been fun. He would have been fun at WrestleMania. We got the Dead Man instead.
Not a bad one to have in the pocket, I suppose, going forward.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I was thinking this yesterday, like, one thing that Steve Austin hasn't done is just completely burn the audience out with, like, by appearing every 6 months or something, so that when he shows up, it's like, holy cow, you know, you feel the mana in a lot of ways. And he'd probably hate us saying that because he has a career-long rivalry with The Rock, but hey, who cares? What is John Cena on this show?
Yes, John Cena's going to be there, starting to kicking off his final year.
Yeah, sorting out that hairline, probably. Probably not, actually. He's been dodging that responsibility.
Talk to Hogan about that. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, even like in 1981, Hogan was a...
What about Hogan, Cena, and Logan Paul as a triple threat at WrestleMania? 3 generations.
Jesus. Who's the worker? Who's putting that one together?
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
I'll show you which way to go, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well,
Follow my lead.
Guys, I've had 7 matches. Come on, slow down. Actually, to be fair, has there been a Logan Paul match that was worse than John Cena versus Austin Theory?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Either. I don't think so either.
And I quite enjoed it because I got to see John Cena wrestle for the first time ever.
Yeah.
It was perfectly fine, but it was a bit like... Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, it was much like the Wrestle Kingdom main event. What a terrible comparison. Wow. A good match that failed, and therefore is probably quite a bad match.
Yes.
There you go. Let's talk about SmackDown plans.
Oh, yes, please.
Another one from Dr. Scoops himself, Dr. Chris Featherstone, PhD. Reporting on what the vibe of SmackDown's going to be going forward. Apparently, big focus is going to be utilising more underutilized talent because obviously the show has gone from 2 hours to 3 hours. You have an extra hour of TV. That means you have more room for people theoretically. Blair Davenport is a name that's been brought up. She has accomplished the square root of nothing on the main roster since being brought up. It's not her fault. She hasn't really been used that much. When she has, it hasn't really been for much meaningful.
Very stop-start with her, hasn't it?
Yes, absolutely. So I think we saw with the first episode of SmackDown, the first 3 hour one this week, which was on YouTube here in the UK. Not sure if that was the same elsewhere, but interesting approach. I think we saw with that, it wasn't necessarily a case of putting more segments and matches and all this. It was more a case of like making the matches longer, right? So like Naomi and Nia Jax got like 19 minutes or something.
Really enjoyable, that match.
A really good match. Yeah, Nia Jax having a really good match in the first week of the year is one of my favourite annual traditions now.
It always happens now, apparently.
Her and Becky last year was great. And the main event, the OG Bloodline versus the new Bloodline, was about 22, 23.
Including the massive entrance. That was amazing.
Yeah. It was like, hey,
let's keep this going.
Yeah, so it looks like they are. They basically, instead of putting more in this week, they seem to just elongate the usual format. And I think it worked to those matches' benefits. The tag match with the machine guns was good as well. It seems like more of a stretchy outy job so far rather than a putty inny job.
Yes.
But maybe it'll be more of a putty inny and less of a stretchy outy going forward.
Indeed. I sense, they'll probably adapt week to week depending on the size of things because they had like a couple of title matches and all the other stuff that you've mentioned there on that show. So it was a case of sort of letting things breathe and not rushing through things because they got a lot they wanted to accomplish on that show, and I think they did. I really enjoyed 3 hours of SmackDown. Whether or not it's going to become as tired as the 3 hour Raws used to be, I hope not. Because like you say, they've got all these talents sort of waiting on the sidelines. You know, you've got your Chelsea Greens, your Meechin storyline, stuff like that that's still going on, along with all the Who Attacked Jade and the new SmackDown Women's Champion, of course. I always forget what name that belt is. The WWE Women's World Championship, I think. Doesn't matter. Tiffany Stratton's the champion. That's the most important thing. I'll be talking about it later on today on the SmackDown review with Michael Hamfler. Absolutely loved that cash in. The noise was incredible. But yeah, promising signs for people like Blair Davenport. I'm sure there's a whole list of names of people that you want to see more of. And I hope that it going 3 hours and Raw being 3 hours will allow them to showcase that.
Yeah, Triple H has been pretty good with the 3-hour shows so far. Much better than his predecessor.
Hell yeah.
So wait and see. But yeah, early signs are good.
What is going on with Gabe Sapolsky, though? That is the question on everyone's lips right now.
Everyone's been asking.
That's what everyone thought. They're going to wake up on January 6th and they're like, right, the big thing to talk about today is Gabe Sapolsky. But a really interesting update from PW Insider. Apparently he signed a deal with WWE late last year. He's been overseeing the WWE ID brand. That's where they stamp people with the WWE thing and say, we're going to keep an eye on you.
Branding iron, like the beginning of Gladiator 2.
Hey, coffee boy, we're going to be keeping an eye on you, that sort of thing.
Yeah, Cappuccino Jones.
Indeed,
Legend.
love him. Rumoured to be in charge of creative for WWE's potential revival of Evolve. Not sure how I feel about any more WWE stuff. It's kind of perfect right now for me. But Gabe Sapolsky, a great person to have on board.
Yeah, so I kind of put this in purely for vanity. I love Gabe Sapolsky.
Hell yeah.
I love Ring of Honor. I love Dragon Gate USA, and I loved Evolve until the last couple of years were a bit weird. But look, he is a name who means a lot. If you're a big bad nerd like me, Gabe Sapolsky is probably a name that means quite a lot to you. So to me, it's quite interesting that he's rumored to be involved in this NXT Evolve or WWE Evolve project, which is seemingly replacing Live Loop,
Indeed,
which has been canned, of course, because it's like, well, Gabe Sapolsky has produced some of my favorite wrestling creative of all time. Most of it in the past, admittedly, but so what has he got in 2025? I'm interested to see that. Ring of Honor changed the game. Dragon Gate USA, great. Evolve, like brand. What's the word I'm looking for? Vanguard indie promotion at its peak. Responsible for raising the profile of lots of people, from Timothy Thatcher to Zack Sabre Jr. to Keith Lee to Darby Allin. It's where he got his big break. And Austin Theory came through there, and lots of names came through there. So I'm very interested in a show of him leading young talent. Now, his creative, or what I remember of his creative, is very different to Shawn Michaels' creative.
Yes.
So will that clash? I don't know, but I'm interested and I'm here for it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be honest, I had no desire to watch NXT Level Up or WWE Level Up, or whatever you want to call it. I'm more than happy with my Raw, SmackDown, NXT intake. But like you say, if he's given creative control to make a show very different from what we expect from WWE, or just, try showcasing different talent, let's say, could be really exciting because of the history he's got, like you say.
Absolutely. And look, Timothy Thatcher is kind of involved in WWE ID. If he's involved in this show, oh my God, I'm so in.
Here we go.
I'm so in. And look, we said this when we covered Level Up getting cancelled. It's not like it was appointment viewing a lot of the time, right? Unless you're super interested in following people from the ground up, which is very rewarding. But at the same time, it's very valuable for young wrestlers to get reps.
Exactly.
And to work singles matches on TV in a setting that they will then progress to NXT or the main roster. It's very beneficial. So even if it's not something that every single person is going to watch every single week, I do think it's worthwhile, especially if it doesn't mean stretching existing people too thin and it's someone else doing creative. It's a good idea.
That's the thing, isn't it? I don't know how it worked with Level Up, but one would assume it was kind of a sort of last thought of, maybe Sean books that, or Sean's involved with that a little bit, but his main focus is NXT. Have someone like Gabe Sapolsky dedicated to this show is only going to be beneficial for talent.
Definitely. And you know what would be beneficial for you right now is, first, if you went to our merch store and bought some lovely gear. I mean, look at that. Look at that purple and gold. The LA Lakers stole our brand.
Indeed.
How dearly. But WhatCulture.com/shop, all kinds of wares available for purchase. And also, you know what's actually free?
Oh, what's that?
The video right here.
And our news coming again later on today.
Oh, we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Baron Corbin, Bronson Reed, AEW backstage heat. Not with Bronson.
Is it? Find out later.
Who knows? See you later.